It is time for a chat with Pat, and I don't know, Pat. I think our guest is there. I can't quite tell for sure,
I
but
know. Hello, Marie, are you there? I don't hear her.
yeah, because we're seeing her, but we're not. We're seeing a
We're
connection,
seeing
but
a
we're not.
screen, yeah, but
Yeah,
I don't see Marie.
yeah.
She's a
But yeah, tell us about Marie.
Okay, well, when she pops up,
Yeah.
she is a Canadian teacher and essayist, and her life and work are deeply shaped by her Catholic faith. Married, brings both personal and professional dedication to her vocation as an educator. She has dual majors in biology and education, and so she combines a strong scientific background with a passion for learning. She's written books. Her first book, Defending Human Dignity, Catholic Answers to Gender, Abortion, and Relativism, is a testament to her belief in God and adherence to her teachings of the Catholic Church. And this is probably an article that certainly takes off on her book, which now I want to read. But this is a book, or this is an article that you can find in Catholic Exchange. And it was written June 15th, and it's called Marriage and Fidelity, the Cornerstone of a Pro-Life Culture. And I think we're trying to see if we can connect with her, but I think this article is really something that broadens our understanding of the pro-life movement. So often we kind of categorize it as anti-abortion, anti-euthanasia, that's pro-life, right? And she points out that this is so much bigger than that, and I think that's something that we have to consider, right? The idea that and she lays out the whole idea that it is really the basic family unit of husband, wife, and children. These are kind of the non-negotiables, and they have to be safeguarded. And that is really, and she talks about fidelity, right? That we have to have fidelity both in sexual and spiritual matters. And it is an essential component of being pro-life. And I think that's so true because we really have to look at the idea that, you know, when you make that marriage commitment to one another, it isn't one of those things that, well, I'll try this until, if it gets a little tough or, I fall out of love with you, it's over. And so when we really commit, um, she goes on to say that we then really preserve love and care for each member of the family, from the unborn to the sick and elderly. And so this idea that each spouse is supposed to have this love and having this commitment, being available to their family at all stages of their lives. So just beautiful work here. Oh, I think maybe
Okay.
she's with us. Hello, Marie. Can she hear us,
Nope,
Sean?
we lost
Oh,
it
oh,
again.
we lost her. She's there. She's gone. But I think
Can
this.
you hear me?
Yeah,
I
we
can
hear
hear
you.
you, Marie. Can you hear us? Hello. Can she hear us? I don't know. She's in and out on us here. But and this is kind of,
I
is
can
she there?
hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Are you there for us? Oh, in and out.
Just
Uh,
dropped.
okay, dropped again. Okay. And we're having trouble with Canada today, probably the heat.
Yeah, it
Um,
must be it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I do think this was one of the things I'd love to maybe we can find a way to get her back on at some point. But she talks about that right now in our society, there's been an erosion of the sacredness of marriage, and then that plays a huge role in kind of what she calls the dismissive mindset of undervaluing human life. And I think that's really true. We really have changed in our society just through my lifetime when someone were having, they were pregnant, they were going to have children, a couple, everybody would be excited for them, and it didn't matter what number it was. It wasn't like we're having number 7 and people are going to, I
Yeah.
mean, you were always excited.
You always celebrated.
Yeah, every child was a blessing. And that has changed. I see that. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was telling me that one of his nephews is pregnant with their 7th child, and I said, "Oh my gosh, that's so exciting!" And I think he thought, "What is wrong with you?" And I said, "That is so exciting. These children are such blessings," and I think we get wrapped up so much in out of I think certainly a sense of love, right? We want to give our children everything. And I remember somebody told me once, I think the best thing I can give my children is another brother or sister. And I thought, well, that's a beautiful way of understanding it, right? And so she brings this up, and she said, marriage itself was considered a benediction in the lives of men and women.
I love that.
Isn't that great? And that the family unit is sacred and it mirrors the Holy Family. And I think we've lost a lot of that. Hence, I think now we're at what we would call the birth dearth, right? I mean, we've seen articles on this all over the place about we're not reproducing, we're not replacing ourselves, and it really. And I agree with her statement here. She says it really kind of started with the sexual revolution 60 years ago. And so the kind of this sanctity of marriage and family has kind of taken a back seat to personal satisfaction and sexual expression. And, I often think about that, because, yesterday I said would have been our 30th wedding anniversary. And I reflect a lot on what marriage was for me and what it should have been for me in places that maybe I wasn't always the best wife or didn't always, see marriage the way God created it to be. And I think so often we do make we make the relationship about me, right? What that person can do for me, and when we do that, we have messed up the whole understanding of what true Christian love is. And I think that's a part of what she's getting at here, is that marital fidelity is essential for marriages to thrive. And so often we don't, we may keep something from our spouse, we may not tell our spouse everything. We think, well, they don't need to know that, or if something puts us in a bad light, we don't want them to know. So the whole idea is that if we really want to create a wonderful marriage based on fidelity, it has to be about trust. And the only way you build trust is through truth. I mean, to be truthful with one another. And so a lot of times, these negative kinds of things that impact marriage take us away from understanding what marriage is. And I know for me, reflecting yesterday, and I watched our wedding video, and I thought, the prayers of the wedding mass are beautiful. Where we hear that our marriage, our love for one another, is to be a reflection of God's love for his world, of Christ's love for his people. And that's the only way I think we can really understand and build a wonderful marriage that will bear the fruit of children. So it's a great article. I would hope that you could go to Catholic Exchange. I know a lot of people that are pro-life. She's telling us that marriage and fidelity is the cornerstone of a pro-life culture.